Hey guys, so in this video I want to talk about why I personally stopped looking for new people, for relationships, friendships, you name it. Um, so I think it's important to first of all um, do what feels right for you, and if you're in a position where, for whatever reason, um, you feel compelled to, which I was, to sort of focus more on yourself and your own, like, if you want to call it well-being, rather than kind of looking for more people to get entangled with, then you should do that. It's kind of like, I think a lot of friendships and relationships, especially ones that I've had recently, have involved these kinds of entanglements that I would rather not be a part of. And I think there's a certain level of gratitude that I have for all the friendships and relationships that I've had recently and ever really. But for me, there came a point where I wanted to just focus on myself and kind of be happy with the people that I have in my life currently, rather than kind of running around on various apps, for example, trying to look for people, or looking for certain activities that may never really, like certain activities that you can potentially meet people at, but you may not be able to find them in your town or something like that. Like that was the case for me. Is that I live in a small town, and the choice is a bit less, so to speak, in my town, and I decided to sort of focus on like myself, and like I can't become flustered or frustrated at something not working out if I'm not focused on that thing, if that makes sense. So if I don't care as much, or if I don't put effort, if I don't put like thought into, like, okay, I need to meet all these people and I need a new relationship or new friends or something like that, then I'm not going to get as bothered if it doesn't happen that way. And for me that was kind of the case, that I decided to kind of focus on myself and be happy with the people that I have, rather than kind of putting effort into things that may not work out. Because a lot of the times my efforts were kind of fruitless. And so I think there's a certain level of liberation that comes from deleting apps like Tinder, things like that. There's a certain level of liberation because if you're not in a position in yourself where you're like fully happy or content, then it's kind of harder to meet people, because I think it's more important to um like be friends with yourself first, if that makes sense, and then you can kind of have healthier relationships or friendships later, down the line. Like certainly I'm not interested in having unhealthy friendships or relationships right now, and I've had a lot of sort of negative experiences with people, or I've had kind of just entanglements that I would rather not be a part of. And a lot of things have been shown to me about myself, and I've seen a lot about just people, and just my life and things like that. And I think it was important for me to make a decision where it's about uh, not going through that with new people again until I'm healthy enough in myself, or like kind of friendly enough with myself first. And that's kind of like general piece of advice that I would give, just in general, is that it's harder, I would say. I don't have a lot of experience with romantic relationships in particular, but I do have some. But it's like, I think it's still it's pretty easy to understand that it's harder to have a healthy relationship or a healthy friendship if you're not fully comfortable and confident in yourself first. And I think there are certain people that come into your life for certain reasons, and different people show you different things about yourself, and you kind of come together for different reasons. And I think if you're in a position where you need to kind of, you feel that you need to focus more on yourself, or sort of make peace with things not working out, for example, is another thing, then you should take that break. I think personally for me, it's kind of like I'm still in the starting position of that. Like I've just started taking a break. I've just recently deleted like all those apps like Tinder, because it's like if I'm drawing certain situations to myself, um, then it might be showing me something about myself, and so I think sometimes you need to take that step back, and to have that kind of self focus in order to become a better you, and then you can go and have healthier relationships. And I'm not saying that my friendships and relationships have been super unhealthy recently, but there's been just there's a lot of sort of more um, short-term friendships that I've had, and kind of things that are not maybe as fully satisfying for myself, um, that I've experienced. And so it's kind of like I don't want to go through that again with new people. So it's kind of like making a decision to take a step back and not be available, so to speak, for, or not even be available, but not actively looking for new situations to get entangled with. I think there's so much to say about this that I can't really sum it up in a short video, because I think that we go through different relationships, and we like I said, we attract different people for different reasons, and we go through different relationships for certain reasons and different reasons. Um, but I think there is a sense of liberation. I want that to kind of be like the inspiration point of this video almost, that there is a certain sense of liberation when it comes to deleting like dating apps, and just kind of not putting so much effort into things that take a while to get going or don't really work at all. So like it took me so long to make a friend in this town, for example, and just it has taken me a long time to do these kinds of things and like meet new people. And so I think it's just that after a while it's like it becomes tiring, and it's not about necessarily giving up, but it's about taking a break and focusing on other things. And so I think also, like, I wouldn't want to completely go off the grid in the sense that I would stop being available in a friendly sense in general. So I think for me personally, for example, I will be open still to new connections and new experiences happening, but I will be less inclined from now on, for a little while um, at least where I'm at currently. I feel like I will be less inclined to actively seek out these experiences, and that can potentially be negative, and all this kind of stuff that at the moment it just doesn't feel worth it, especially with where I am in my personal life. I think it's important to be friends with yourself first, rather than, especially if you're like a sensitive sort of person, to not get involved so much with all these different entanglements and like friendships, relationships that kind of overwhelm your psyche, and it kind of becomes something that you can react to very sensitively. I think I'm very much a supporter, so to speak, of healthy friendships and healthy relationships, rather than relationships and friendships for the sake of relationships and friendships. Um, I have certain friends in my life um, that are important, and so it's like I'm not cutting people out, but it's like I'm just focusing on other things, and rather than looking for new friends, for example, especially in a town that it's kind of difficult to do so at times, and not really finding the right activities and things like that. So it's kind of like, well, I can't get upset about that if I don't put my focus on that, if I don't put my focus on like finding experiences that may not come. So just focus on, I will just kind of try and focus on the friends that I have and the healthy aspects of my friendships, um, rather than kind of looking always for the new. Because I think for a while I was kind of obsessed with newness. I was obsessed with new people coming into my life, new experiences coming into my life, when really, a lot of the time those things don't really work out, or they are only, those people might only be in my life for a certain amount of time, and then um, not that every relationship or friendship has to last my whole life or something like that, but I think I've had certain experiences that I'm grateful for, but it's like sometimes you need to kind of take a break and to focus on yourself rather than looking for new experiences all the time without kind of having a break for yourself, and just to get less caught up in this thing of looking for newness all the time, when really a lot of those experiences are very short term, and some of them may not be fully satisfying in the grand scheme of things. So just a few thoughts about friendships and relationships and deleting Tinder and things like that. Please do subscribe if you're interested in more content from me, and leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. See you later.